Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahawashi, Bahashem, Wadash, Barakatum. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahawashi. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. And peace and salutations to you sincere Akim out there, pushing this word in truth and sincerity to the four corners of the globe. May you brothers endure until the end. This is the brother Ra'aya with another video, and I'm going to start it off in Amos chapter 8, verses 11 to 13. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord Yahweh, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, though famines of food and water are coming, but of hearing the words of Yahweh, the famine of the word, where the men of the Lord will no longer be on the highways and byways preaching this word, and video epistles like this will no longer be found online. And they shall wander from sea to sea, and from the north even to the east. They shall run to and fro to seek the word of Yahweh, and that just goes to show how bad the times of Jacob's trouble are going to be. Hey, our people are going to be looking high and low, left and right, backwards and forwards to find the words of Yahweh Bahashem Yahawashi through the prophets. But as it says, and shall not find it. In that day shall the fair virgins and young men faint for thirst, that spiritual thirst. Again, not being able to find the words of Yahweh Bahashem Yahawashi during all the calamities and judgments of Jacob's trouble, and they're going to have to get it how they live in those days. And as it says in 2nd Ezra chapter 9, hey, for them not taking this time of liberty to get the words of the Most High and despitefully casting them behind their backs, hey, they're going to receive that death by pain. And I opened up the video with this verse to preface a couple of articles just to further show how close we are to getting to the famine of the word. And the first article I'll be going to is on Breitbart.com, and the title reads, UK government prosecutors say parts of the Bible no longer appropriate to speak. Point blank, period. Just another example showing how close we are to the famine of the word, and how eventually, not just in America, but globally, laws are going to be passed to make a man an offender for a word, to where you won't be able to preach it. And in a lot of cases, you'll be sent to prison for preaching the word. What does it say in Revelation chapter 2, verse 10? And the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried. But let's go to Isaiah chapter 29. I'm going to start at verse 18. And in that day shall the deaf hear the words of the book, and the eyes of the blind shall see out of obscurity and out of darkness. Hey, the elect of the nation of Israel, or you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, as well as the Israelite foreigners who look like these heathen nations, that came across the words of Yahweh Bahashem Yahawashi through the prophets. And the main prophets out there prophesying are GMS, or Great Millstone. We can clearly see that with these other camps fumbling the ball with the truth out here, that GMS can confidently say that we have 100% truth. But the elect of the nation of Israel, hearing the words of Yahweh Bahashem Yahawashi through the prophets, hey, their spiritual ears and eyes are being opened. They're coming back to the fact that they're the children of Israel and calling upon their power, Yahweh Bahashem Yahawashi, and following after his ways and doing whatever they can to take themselves out of this world, this carnal world of the heathens, chiefly of the biblical Edomites, or the so-called white people, spiritually. The meek also shall increase their joy in Yahweh, and the poor among men shall rejoice in the Holy One of Israel, because we have our identity again, we have our power again, and we know that through prophecy, this rulership of Esau's and the heathens is going to come to an end, and that the kingdom of heaven, where we're going to rule for eternity in and be at peace in, is quickly coming. For the terrible one is brought to naught. Esau, Edom, he is being brought to naught spiritually right now by the prophets prophesying and bringing up all his ill dealings and showing through the scriptures who he is and that his rulership isn't forever and that it's coming to an end quickly. And then Yahushua is going to come physically to put this man down and establish the kingdom of heaven. And the scorner is consumed, and all that watch for iniquity are cut off. And all these people out here, especially our people that constantly scoff against the word, hey, they're going down with Esau as well. But here's the main point I wanted to get to, that make a man an offender for a word. UK government prosecutors say parts of the Bible no longer appropriate to speak, that make a man an offender for a word, and lay a snare for him that reproveth in the gate, coming up with all this legislation to label preaching the Bible as hate speech, and that if you do believe in the Bible, then you're a fundamentalist, you're a domestic terrorist, you're a black identity extremist, you're prone to doing oh wait, we can't forget, you're an anti-Shemite, and you may be prone to doing lone wolf terroristic attacks out here, and turn aside the just for a thing of naught. And while in this article, the guy who was preaching didn't identify as a Hebrew Israelite, he was just one of your everyday Christians. Hey, we can clearly see that as we get closer and closer to the end of this thing, the Akim preaching the word, or even just your average everyday Christian preaching the word out here, soon nobody will be able to do it, because the Bible will be labeled as a document of hate that only spreads hate and discrimination and can potentially cause acts of violence. Lawyers for the Crown Prosecution Service, CPS of England and Wales, tried to have a Christian street preacher convicted for quoting the Bible to a lesbian couple, insisting that scripture is no longer appropriate in modern society. And hey, the values and the law, statutes, and commandments of the scriptures aren't appropriate to this modern satanic society under Esau Edoms, who does everything clean contrary to the scriptures. And we can see that things dealing with the alphabet group beginning with LG is one of the main tenets being pushed in a lot of these Western countries, especially the United States of America. The extraordinary case mounted in what is still nominally a Christian church, with an established church in which the head of state serves as supreme governor, was brought against armed forces veteran and throat cancer survivor John Dunn after the police referred him to prosecutors for telling a lesbian couple that it says in the Bible that happy people will not inherit the kingdom of the Most High in Swindon. Now, just by the fact that we have to speak in codes with certain words just goes to show how closer we're getting to the famine of the word. And hey, he wasn't wrong. Those of the alphabet group aren't going to inherit the kingdom of the Most High. Hey, they're going to get destroyed on this side by nuclear fire. And then when the kingdom of heaven's established, all Israel is going to be righteous, because we're going to be under the new covenant and have the law, statutes, and commandments in us, so we won't go off. But if any of these heathens try to commit those acts in the kingdom, hey, they're going to be judged by the law accordingly. And that means a first round ticket to the spirit world. Whether a statement of Christian belief or not, the court is being asked to consider whether the language has the potential to cause harassment, alarm, or distress. Oh, that's hate speech that could incite violence against minorities and people of different targeted groups, so to speak. The CPS wrote to the courts when pursuing the case in a document quoted by the Belfast Newsletter. This document is not the forum for religious debate, but the Bible contains other materials recognizing slavery, the death sentence, and cannibalism, the prosecutors asserted, sloppily as it turns out, as Deuteronomy 28 and 27 actually makes no reference to cannibalism. A lot of these people that come up with these things against the Bible, or prosecutors or whatever, they can't even get it down right what they're trying to say. They just try to come up with any little thing or cherry pick things to just put the Bible in the worst light as possible. That's exactly what they're going to do to us. They're going to lay those snares and traps to make a man an offender for a word. And we know the majority of people on this planet are mentally retarded, and they just listen to what the mainstream has to say without really going into depth what's being said. So whatever the newscaster says, or especially a celebrity says, hey, people are going to go after it, hook, line, and sinker. Hey, this devil is really going to come against us underhanded and unfairly, Akim. So we shouldn't be surprised when they do come with this demonization campaign, that the lies are coming, the deception. You get sent to a kangaroo court to where you may defend yourself to the best you can and have a good case. You'll still be found guilty. There are references in the Bible which are simply no longer appropriate in modern society and which would be deemed offensive if stated in public, the CPS insisted, and it would be offensive in a wicked, demonic, satanic society which will be destroyed. Being offensive is an offense. UK police mocked for hate crime awareness event. And the UK, Britain, more specifically, is just another joke-ass, broke-ass Edomite country out here. We can clearly see that all these countries that the Edomites dwell in is quickly going down. And they're being found for the liars and the hypocrites and the rapists, robbers, and murderers that they've always been throughout their history. And the main ones that are bringing this account against them out are the men of the Lord. By simply preaching from the scriptures, that's all we're doing. We're not saying anything of our own volition or our own opinions. It's simply from the script, and that's cutting you the most. Because as it says in Hebrews, this word is sharper than any two-edged sword, cutting to the dividing asunder of spirits. And you Edomites and you just wicked people in general are cut to the spirit. That's why you can't handle the word. And then, as we preach the word, these prophecies in the scriptures are coming to their fulfillment much more quickly. So you people are getting scared out here, and these elites are about to pull out all the stops to try to keep this word from going out and keep prophecy from coming to its fulfillment. As it says in Revelation chapter 12, verse 12, for the devil shall come down in great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. But before we continue, I'm going to go to Matthew 24, verse 14. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, which it has been, mainly through what? The unicorn or the internet. Brothers do videos at all times during the day in many different languages, as it says in Psalms chapter 19, and then post the video to the internet, and anybody with an internet connection globally can see the word. And all the elect has to do is just hear one kernel of the truth, and then the Most High is going to let the Spirit go from there, and they're going to further get into the truth and come back to their identity. And that's just another block or another stone being built of the third spiritual temple, which further brings about the end of this current age of the rulership of the heathens, chiefly of the Edomites, as it says, and then shall the end come. Hey, you've got plenty of beautiful examples showing how far this word has reached from one end of the earth unto the other. One example I always remember is the elder brother Malcolm of the Chicago camp. He said before that people from South Korea have shown him that his videos that he makes has a presence down there. You've got his videos with South Korean subtitles showing that whether it's your traditional looking Israelites or so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans down there watching the videos and putting Korean subtitles on it because they can speak Korean, or Israelite foreigners that look like so-called Moabites, that look like Moabites or so-called South Koreans hearing the word and being woken up. This word has truly gone global. This gospel of the kingdom has been preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and that is why the end is coming. And again, the elites can see it. Hence, why they're working behind the scenes to build up this demonization campaign to outlaw preaching from the Bible, reading from the Bible, going out onto the highways and byways preaching this word, and especially putting these video epistles online. That's pretty much it with this article. We hit the main points. And there are brothers in Britain, in London, that preach the word. So when things like this gain more traction, who's going to be the main target? Hey, the brothers over there preaching this word in 100% sincerity and truth. And it's going to spread to these other countries as well, especially in the belly of the beast, the United States of America, Babylon the Great, which will segue us over into this other article on TechCrunch.com. Facebook is removing several information fields from profiles, including religious and political views. And Facebook is an American company that also has a global reach. Facebook is notifying users that it will remove 4 information fields from profiles starting next month. These fields include religious views, political views, addresses, and the interested in field, which indicates a user's sexual orientation. The change will go into effect on December 1st. A spokesperson for the company told TechCrunch in an email that the reason behind the change is to make the social network easier to use. Of course, that's always the cover story. Oh, we're just streamlining the services to make it more compatible with our users. When with these devils, there's always a much more insidious agenda behind the scenes. As part of our efforts to make Facebook easier to navigate and use, we're removing a handful of profile fields: interested in, religious views, political views, and addresses, the spokesperson said in a statement. We're sending notifications to people who have these fields filled out, letting them know these fields will be removed. This change doesn't affect anyone's ability to share this information about themselves elsewhere on Facebook. For now, first you start with people not even being able to state what their religious or political views are, and then what comes next. Well, this information you're posting is harmful. It's not conducive to a healthy environment. It could actually cause people to go commit acts of violence. We need to get rid of it. And if you remember, during the 2020 presidential elections between Trump and Biden, a lot of pro-Trump information was heavily censored in the lead up to the elections. Matt Navarra, Facebook is removing religious views and interested in info from profiles from December 1st, 2022. Here's what you will no longer be able to post about yourself. That's it with the article. You get the main point. But again, we can clearly see that with each passing day, we're getting closer and closer to this famine of the word. So like we always tell you, sincere Akim and Akwat out there, hey, drink from these rivers of living waters while you still can, because once that spigot's turned off, all that knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that you gained while the word was freely available, while you had the liberty to do so, will be the stability in these times during Jacob's trouble to get you through it. But as for the wicked of our people who took this time of liberty to not take heed to the words of the prophets or get the words, again, you're going to have to get it how you live in that day, and it's not going to be good. Again, 2nd Esdras chapter 9, and they shall know it after death by pain. And as it says in Ezekiel chapter 33, verse 33, and when these things come to pass, these prophecies and judgments, and lo, they will come, then shall they know that a prophet hath been among them. So that's it with this video. And with this video, I hope you sincere Akim and Akwath were edified. Just keep strong. We're almost out of this final wicked captivity of the heathen nations, chiefly of the Edomites. And as always, I'm going to say Abad Babal, Kwam Yasharala, and until next time, Shalom.